Like we all have been doing this exercise quite some time now, I'll just begin very quickly, introduce Electropreneur Park, which is an ESDM incubation center, which is set up by STPI with support from Ministry of Electronics and IT, Government of India, and Department of Electronics and IT, Government of Odisha, as a part of its Pan India initiative to create a create a network of center of excellence. Electropreneur Park Bhubaneswar is equipped with the state-of-art advanced lab, plug-and-play facilities for incubators, which will help accelerating innovation, enabling industry-oriented research and development, and development of the ESDM pool, then provide assistance during prototyping and development and commercialization of the products. So the Smart City Challenge outcome for urban transformation that was started on February 10th. And so what we did was we were discussing on the various challenges, problem statements gathered from our partners, and these series of webinars, these are the explanation of those problem statements in detail. With us, Mr. Karan Jain. Karan Jain is an application engineer at Analog Devices, where he is responsible for providing technical design support to strategic and key customers focused on industrial applications like energy monitoring, sensor interfaces, and data centers. We also have Mr. Govinda Rajan, having 10 plus experience in electronic domain by doing design and development in an embedded systems and field application engineer for Analog Device products in an Excel point covering industrial, automotive, defense, and healthcare segments. So I'll just quickly run through what the Scout is about. Scout is a pan-India contest for startups and innovators focusing on solutions to the challenges, to the pre-identified challenges faced in the smart cities. And our basic goal is that contestants will be expected to come up with innovative ESDM solutions that solves certain problem statements that has already been defined to make the future cities sustainable. Our ecosystem partners are Excel Point, ISA, IIIT Bhubaneswar, Startup Odisha, NRTC, and our technology and implementing partners include Analog Devices, L&T, Smart World, Xilinx, Microchip, Shapoorji Pallonji, Ashoka Buildcon, Zeliot, Bhubaneswar Smart City Limited, CSM Technologies, Van Infra, iWave, Innovator, and Singapore IoT Consortium. The key focus areas include waste management, healthcare solutions for urban healthcare, advanced transport management solutions, citizen services, industrial and building automation, security and surveillance, environment and pollution monitoring solutions, energy management and conservation system. These are few of the problem statements that we have tried to identify, and like criminal identification, modernizing criminal identification, tracking and verification by police organizations across country using tech-led solutions, then advancement in toll collection systems to address several problems like malfunctioning of in RFID cards, offline payments, toll traffic management, detection of rule violators, then modular network architecture, which can address current challenges in energy management, smart lighting, water management, intelligent parking, infrastructure management, pollution control, disaster warning, integrated technologies for remote health diagnostics and treatment in healthcare, then real-time measurement and monitoring various health parameters, geolocation for frontline workers such as health professionals, police, etc., and for their early detection and prevention of occupational diseases, real-time drainage, manholes and sewage monitoring systems, solutions to monitor and maintain water quality parameters of water bodies, collection, route and frequency optimization, segregation, handling and processing of waste using electronic devices. This comes under waste management. Then we are looking at disaster management solutions for early prediction, damage control, and minimization of post-disaster impacts. Energy analytics for smart cities, intelligent fault detection, smart distribution, monitoring of various utilities such as gas, water, and electricity. Real-time monitoring and maintenance alert and fault failure prediction of smart city infrastructure. Smart poles for smart city infrastructure. For applying, you can be any of these followings. Working professionals, educators and researchers, student innovators, startups, companies, do it yourself enthusiasts. You just need to have an idea and we take it forward. timeline, I already mentioned, we launched this program on the 10th of February, the last date being 10th of March. We are having good number of applications so far. And once we shortlist the applications, we are then going to form a cohort and provide them with kits and component boards. Then there'll be a POC challenge where the selected participants, the selected applicants will be handheld, will be given mentoring, technical support, and then there'll be the grand finale or final pitching and evaluation. And post that, we will help these startups implement the POCs or take it to the next level of piloting. I would like to mention here that when you apply, if you feel that some fields are not relevant to your organization or to yourself, then you may please do not leave it blank. You can just mention any and proceed. It is not mandatory that you fill up all the fields. Only fill up what is relevant to you. The key takeaways include real-time implementation of POC selected in the hackathon, knowledge dissemination sessions, then assistance in availing the tools and technologies, virtual mentoring, reimbursement of the components, incubation offer to winners, and awards and recognitions, of course. To apply, please visit innovate.stpinext.in, apply now and scout. To know more about it, please visit pbs.electropreneurpark.in, and the mobile numbers displayed can be reached anytime for any support that is needed. Thank you so much. I now request our speaker, Mr. Karan Jain, to kindly proceed. Mr. Karan, if you're there, you can please begin.
Yes, thanks.
Thank you so much.
Okay. So let me share my screen. Just wanted to check if everyone is able to see my screen here.
Yes, we are able to see it.
Okay, perfect. Right. Yeah, thanks, ma'am. My name is Karan. Good evening to everyone. I work with Analog Devices as field applications engineer. I've been associated with ADI for the last 8+ years, and most of my my experience on this field has been with ADI. Today, I'm representing ADI to discuss about a very important topic, which is also a very important social topic about the water quality. Right. So these days we have been hearing a lot about the pollution issues, the air pollution issues, but I think we rarely talk about water quality as the topic to be like taken care of. So today I'm going to discuss about a very important thing which forms a major part of our lives, and how to like focus on the water quality and move forward. Uh, this is some snippets which I have captured here, which kind of depicts it's not just the developing nations who have this water quality issues, but it is also the nations like US and Europe, where they face a lot of issues related to having the availability of clean drinking water. So, for example, if you see the wildfires in Western world, has caused a lot of water related issues. The pollutants which have made the availability of good clean water up to like less than 10%. You see the Europe quality standards, like most of like more than 50% of the water available in Europe also doesn't pass the water your EU quality standards. Similarly, if you see in India, I've taken Bangalore as one example, where only 10% of Bangalore lakes have good water quality. That's one of the study which came up recently. Uh, so this is the like impact of a poor availability of water, not just in developing nations but also in the developing nations. If you compare it with the air pollutions, we have like today's systems which are deployed like in our vicinity, which we see as the air ionizers and the devices which clean the air. But still, we are not able to reach to a stage where we get rid of all this air pollution. And for the water, we haven't even started yet. So it becomes even more important to focus on water. Few things which, like from the technical side, I would like to highlight is there are three important factors which will come into the picture if we have to make a solution which takes care of these water quality issues. One is all these water bodies which we tend to clean are some remote locations which where these devices, whichever we design or the solutions we provide to clean the water, needs to be deployed. So a remote sensing location is something which becomes very important. Second thing which becomes very important is how accurately we are getting the data. Can we believe the data which is supplied by a sensor? Because that is where the whole chain starts. If we get a wrong data and then do the post processing, it doesn't yield anything. So the diagnostic or the initial conversion of the real time values into a digitized form accurately and reliably becomes even more important. And then third, the real time accessibility to these data. So these are the three things, and it has its own challenges. Like for example, in the remote location sensing, the installation support cost, how robust is the design, how long it can go because of the conditions we have outside. Similarly, on the reliable measurements, the consistency, the repeatability of the results, and the power consumption, because these will be the devices which are remotely deployed. Maybe it is a battery powered device, you don't have power supply available there. And third comes the having access to those data in real time values, in real time life, be it edge analytics or diagnostic analysis or any of those connectivities. So these are the three major factors which will define a complete solution. When we talk about a complete implementation of a solution, we are just not talking about designing a system in a lab, but we are actually talking about how to get rid of these issues. uh, just jumping into the three high level parameters or the ways of measuring the water quality. uh, you would have heard about calorimetry, turbidity, electrochemical measurements, and the lab measurements. So I have just categorized into like three broad categories. One, if you see from the bottom, is the advanced category, where we take some samples to the lab and do complex analysis to form and understand what kind of heavy metals are there in a particular sample, or the bacteria content or the toxin. So we're not talking about that in this webinar today. Rather than, we are focusing on the optical and the electrochemical sensors. uh, Examples include the turbidity measurement, the amount of oxygen present, the ions present, the conductivity levels, the oxidation reduction potential, and the pH levels. So I'll be focusing on optical and electrochemical methods and the challenges faced while designing these solutions. So optical measurement, as you all know by its name, the sensor involved here is the optic sensor. And most of the liquids you see around, all the measurements are done in UV region, uh, visible region, because if you talk about water, the water absorbs IR, infrared rays, very strongly. uh, that is the reason we tend to focus on the visible region area and the UV region area, where we do different types of sensing related to uh, the uh, related to the pass through adoption method, or if it is related to the scattering method, it sometimes fluorescence as well. So these are the like broad three things which you would hear in a typical optical based sensors. And the challenges you see here in these kind of sensing is, first of all, the optics itself. So the optics has to be really fine tuned to accept these environmental things, and also to neglect or to to negate the ambient light, the rejection, because the kind of input signals we get out of these different ways which I just talked about is a very small electrical signal which needs to be amplified and understood about. Optics which kind of takes care of and removes these noise elements, like I'm calling noise elements because of the environmental conditions, is becomes really important, because that is the source of all the data which we do, like after getting the data and the post processing. The challenge is, see, the optics, sensor falling, environmental compensations, and things change. There are many drifts or many environmental conditions which happen, which changes over time. So these are the challenges which like happen when we talk about optical based sensing. Uh, and we have heard about all those challenges, and we have taken a lot of feedback from our customers who design these products, and we have come up with like not just the sensor, but with a complete evaluatable solution, which like any of you can just use it as is, do your own analysis, and kind of do a very quick POC with these platforms. So if you see on the top right, that's the platform we call CN0503. Uh, the core of this platform is the optical sensor itself, which is the ADPD 410X series. Uh, this platform is capable of um, doing like multiple types of measurements. It's a single photometric front end which can do measurements for the pass-through mechanisms. So it has like 4 channels for the pass-through mechanism, and 2 channels for the fluorescence based or the turbidity based sensing. So turbidity essentially means like the scattered waves at 90 degree. So it has 2 additional channels for that as well. It also has a very uniquely designed mechanical arrangement, which kind of rejects the ambient light like very beautifully, and it enables us to do the detections in a synchronous pattern. If you see from the bottom right, these are the blocks which you would see in a typical circuit node, the CN503. It'll have the front end, the PD boards. It will have a place where we can keep the liquid samples, and a very thought through filters which kind of does all the rejections and just accept what is required for our measurement. It involves the various filters and the lenses. Then it goes to the front end, and finally, we have a M4 motherboard. You can use one of these Arduino shields, which are provided by ADI, or you can use any of your microcontroller which is there in your system to get this data, extract this data from this analog front end, and then do the post processing. From the deliverable standpoint, you would see uh, we are not just giving this hardware. We are also like this is a complete development platform which one can utilize. Will provide all the basic hand-holding firmwares, Python scripts, and the GUIs. All of it is available depending upon different needs of the users. Uh, One example I would like to highlight here is about the Q9 fluorescence. This is just to highlight the kind of performance we have with the solution and how our solution differentiates from the other solutions which are available in the market. So if you see, typically in a tonic water, it contains Q9, and if you do the fluorescence test there, the signal, the final signal you get after the fluorescence test is very weak and very small. So you need it becomes a very challenging task to enhance and extract that signal, and actually differentiate it from the noise which is available in the front end. So it's a combination of our LED front end and the filters which have made it possible to have a very, very good SNR. These are the measured values you see on the right. So with this tonic water, the Q9 SNR is 72 dB. And if you see the tap water sample versus the tonic water sample, uh, this kind of SNR difference brings the leverage, and that is how we are able to differentiate and achieve certain results which actually make impact. On the software side, we have almost everything. Probably if you would have seen analog devices earlier solutions, it used to have a GUI which uh, people can use for the evaluation, but we have thought through it and realized like there are certain applications and conditions or requirements where you need access to the sample code, at least the basic interface code. So we have worked on it, and we like all our Python scripts and the .c codes with including the Node.js drivers all are available onto the web. You can use it as per your convenience. So this is from the idea of just handholding you to do your POC as fast as possible. We have done it all on the hardware side and on the software side. You just need to take it as it is and do the post processing in your final application. The second comes the electrochemical measurement. As you would know, it is a very fairly common way of doing measurements, especially for the water quality. It involves many things like conductivity, ion selective electrodes, how much is the dissolved oxygen in a particular sample. And on all those solutions, we have like many solutions available in the market today, but there are issues with the existing solutions related to the environmental composition, the drift over lifetime, the sensor falling, and the aging. So we have like worked on those, and then kind of derived a solution which takes care of both the measure mechanism, the most popular measurement mechanisms. One is the pH and kind of sensors which are like potential sensor based. We have developed solutions which take care of the complete front end sensing probes. In fact, we have also thought through the ICs, the IC solution size, which can actually go into the probes itself instead of making a proper board into the design. We have a custom solution which is a very small form factor which can be like fitted into a probe, and it forms a complete solution like from the end application standpoint. So uh, if you see like to have these sensors work properly and get the real data, uh, calibration is something which becomes very important because of the environmental condition. Then comes the sensor range, like in what operating temperature range the sensor works and with what dynamic range. uh, for and third thing, like when we're talking about especially the potential sensors, the temperature composition something becomes very important. So a pH with a temperature composition is something which is a must requirement when you're talking about precision measurements, the low noise and low drift measurement. And that is where analog devices has its expertise on the analog front end designs, which we have used to form a complete solution. On the right, you see is the impedance based sensing, where you would need a DAC to excite the electrodes, and then you need a ADC with a TIA, transimpedance amplifier, to sense it back and then do the post processing. So this is the solution which we have. This is again a reference platform. We call it CN0428. Uh, it uses a front end with a microcontroller called ADUCM355. It has the potentiostat front ends with the uh, uh, with the excitation block, which we're using like DAC or internal DAC for the biasing, and we have the transimpedance amplifier to sense it back with all the gain and load registers inbuilt into the single IC. We have a Cortex M3 core inbuilt into this, which you can utilize and do your processing. Maybe if you want to do certain transformations like DFT, and you want to do certain accelerators or some kind of diagnostic or algorithm you want to use, you can use this single device which does everything for you, and final output you get it on either UART, SPI, or I2C, which can be interfaced to the any of the host MCU to get the data. The differentiating factor about these solutions is, one is it's a fairly integrated solution. When we're talking about the AFE with the MCU all together in a small form factor with a very low power consumption, which fits very well to a solution like these probe designs. You can adapt this whole design into a probe form factor as well because of the integration and the size. It will take care of the pH, conductivity, the ISC, and the ORP, all of those things. Uh, it also has like multiple daughter boards and different combinations with the temperature compensation inbuilt. So the bottom right image, the smaller image you see, is the smaller form factor board, which has like two chips. Uh, can be like used into the probe designs because of the small form factor. And for this solution also, we have the softwares available on web which kind of guide you through the initial handholding and the initial interfacing of these sensors, which is at least would get you all the relevant data of pH and the conductivity onto your host MCU, and then you can utilize that data to do your own post processing. Something about the performance here. If you see, we are able to meet the the performance of these devices, which are like comparable to the lab grade performances. If you see on the left, the pH measurements, without temperature composition, the RMS noise is 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 very small. So it's 0.0004 pH is the RMS noise without the temperature composition. And even if you see the temperature drift over time, the NTC noise is 0.003 degrees C, uh, which we feel is little challenging to achieve in a smaller chip like this, which is comparable to a lab grade device. Similarly, with the conductivity measurements, you see the RMS noise for the conductivity is fairly small and limited, and same is the case with the NTC there. Uh, for this platform, as I mentioned, it is a complete solution which can be used for electrochemical probes. Because of the small form factor, it has the capability to uh, get into like any standard probes. And on top of it, it is a very low power design. It is a Cortex M3 based MCU. But if you go through the power consumption, it becomes a very unique solution which kind of suits these kind of needs. Uh, you can go through like I after this webinar, I'll be sharing this presentation with everyone. uh, these are the various circuit designs. These are the development platforms which we have already developed to be shared with our users, which they can utilize to like do a POC or move forward in their designs faster, the faster time to market designs as well. So the top two ones which we just discussed, and we are not stopping at that. We have many other circuit nodes related to soil moisture, pH measurements, or any sort of conductivity measurements which involves the impedance sensors. So all of that is something we have already made, developed, and you can just reuse those and build on top of it. uh, there are links to it which you can go to, and all of it is available on the web. Everything is released. I think that's it from my end. And I think, sorry, I rushed faster because we had lesser time. If there are any questions, I can take them now or later after Govind's discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Karan. We are also recording this today's webinar and we'll be posting it on the online platforms. So in case we have any query from the participants, we'll definitely get in touch with you.
Thank you.
Do we have Mr. Govind Rajan with us today? Smaran, if you can please.
Govind, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. I'm just checking with.
Okay, I'll take this one. Okay.
What do you, Mr. Govind?
I'm Govindrajan, working in Excel Bank, taking care of Unlock Devices product, energy monitoring system based on the Unlock Devices new technology called
Mr. Govinda, sorry for interrupting, but we are not able to hear you very clearly. Can you please be a little closer to the microphone?
1 minute. Hello. Now I am audible. Hello.
Yes, very much. You please can.
Okay. So this is Govindrajan. Okay. So I think now voice is clear, right? Hello. It's voice clear, right?
Yeah, go ahead, Govind.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
it is audible.
Okay. So if talk about any city, light is one of the important segments that play a major role in all the cities. Okay. So most of the energy is consumed by is street lights only. So in order to save the energy, definitely you want to monitor the street light power consumption, and also better maintenance. This need to be monitored properly. This is what presents criteria as a problem statement. In order to get a better energy management system, this system should have error-free, and so that the reliability of the product be maintained throughout the lifetime of the product actually. So this is what one of the problem statement right now in front of us when it comes to these smart street light applications. How we are going to address this issue? Okay, so presently, if look at any cities, right? So there will be a center point location there. Energy monitor equipment will be placed, and it will monitor close to be 100 and more than 100. Still be monitored by the energy meter, but when come to the
Govind, sorry to interrupt. Your slides are missing again.
hello, slide visible?
No.
Sorry, I mean, meanwhile, no, you continue on that. Meanwhile, we'll rectify that.
That'd be a small issue in the network. Please, 1 minute.
Govind, should we ask Karan to do the session if we have connectivity issue?
Just 1 minute, otherwise I'll pass to Karan.
Do you want me to share the slide, Govind?
You can share the screen. Uh,
Is that visible?
yeah, it's okay. Okay, you just move to the next slides. Okay. Now, if we talk about the present scenario in the field, right, that be a common meter will be there in the cluster. So the cluster will monitor at minimum 100 or 500 poles in the location. So that will not definitely identify any issue in terms of particular light, whether glowing or not glowing. This is one of the major challenges when it comes to the maintenance. And moreover, we are not able to confirm that the particular street light energy consumption as per the recommendation or standards. These are some of the common issues which is right now we are in the field. So to avoid these issues, to get rid of this issue, definitely we want to use individual power monitoring at street light level so that we can able to identify the energy use of the particular street light, and if particular light is glowing or not glowing, easily identify by setting in the remote location by putting this individual power monitoring at a street level. So moreover, this also help us to is any issue related to voltage dip as well in the power distribution line, so that the lamp is goes off. So these are the diagnostic features when you are going to implement individual power monitoring system at street level. And moreover, since we are putting individual power monitoring at each node, so it helps us to identify the cable access in the street light power system also. And if any tampering or any leakage in between the lines, is easily help us to address the issue and rectify the issues. So these are one of the common advantage which we are going to get it when you are putting individual power monitoring at state level. Next. Okay. So when talk about do this activity, definitely there will be two solutions right now available in the market. One is a microcontroller based approach. So any microcontroller having inbuilt ADC. So do this job, definitely there will be a voltage divider, that nothing but sensor required for the voltage measurement, and current sensor, nothing but current transformer or shunt used for the current measurement. And that particular voltage and current will be monitored by the sensor and goes to the ADC of the microcontroller, and it will measure this voltage and current. When come to this microchip solution, microcontroller solution, obviously sensor and ADC introduce kind of error. So this error has to be corrected in order to get a better accuracy of the particular power monitoring solution. To do this job, we need a high accurate calibration source. This source really needed a sophisticated environment and skilled manpower, and you have to do a better software so that we'll be able to achieve better accuracy. So this is a complicated process when people are going to do street-led power monitoring solution. They have to use huge investment to do these activities. So in order to avoid these issues, we want to put some kind of mechanism in the chip itself, so that that costing of the equipment and the calibration process get reduced. So we have come a technology called MSure, that is nothing but AD9153 chip, which is introduced by the analog devices. It has inbuilt measurement block. It will help us to calibrate internally. That nothing but auto calibration feature internally. it will reduce the requirement of accurate source, as well as the no need to wait for any skilled labor or software need to be right on top of it actually. So you can do this calibration in meter production itself, or you can do it in field also. So these are the key advantage when come to the MSure technologies. So in order to get a better solution and a cheaper solution and a reliable solution in the market, MSure one of the key future we can consider for the this kind of smart stated application. So if you look at, if you want to go with the microcontroller approach, definitely people has to invest some capital invest like buying this kind of source product in minimum to 12K or 15K dollars actually. On top of it, you have to put some kind of infrastructures to maintain the source properly and manpower required, and you have to write a lot of good algorithm on top of it so that the performance of the MCU will measure power in a better way. Otherwise, that performance of product will not be guaranteed. So this is one of the complicated process when it comes to the microcontroller approach, the power monitor solution in any of the state layer or any other applications. It will be good for the meter utility meter application, but when come to the non-utility meter application, this really not viable solution, and will be adding additional cost to the product and end product actually. How our MSure technology look like inside the block. So I told you right, whenever microcontroller based approach that be overlooked, that means there's no feedback mechanism. Once the particular product get calibrated at the production level, once it get to the field, after that we're not able to any option that whether the product perform as per the standard or as per the requirement. Why? Because there is no feedback mechanism involved in this system. So obviously, after 6 months or 1 year, there'll be a prone to the drift in the component which is used in the MCU application. MCU application. So definitely it not be a right solution when come to the smart light programs actually. So if you look at the general architecture of the microcontroller approaches, there'll be a sensor and there'll be a gain block will be there and there'll be ADC. So sensor introduce some noise, some error, and gain block also introduce some error, and ADC also introduce some errors. So these three errors will be added together. This error need to be calibrated using the proper source and better software. Then only the product will be minimum 1% accuracy or less than that. So in order to get this accuracy, we have to invest a lot of money on top of it. This is really not viable for CTI kind of applications. How our MSure technology will look like? It will be a closed loop systems. That means same system only, like sensor will be there, gain will be there, ADC will be there, but we have the additional mechanism called, we have voltage source as well as the current source mechanism that will be flow through the sensor. It will measure the known input voltage and unknown current value, and it will compare reader value and given value. If any difference between these two, definitely this particular detect block will be remove that error, and automatically the voltage and the current will be error will be removed, and will get the accurate value from the chip. So basically, this is help us to reduce your product life cycle calibration stage, and it also give the better reliability at the field level. If you look at the chip internal block, there'll be a voltage section and there'll be a current section. And for measure the current section, we can use either shunt, CET, and Rogo series coils. And for serial kind of application, we are recommending shunt because current not more than 10 or 20 amps. So shunt will be a viable sensor for the current measurement. For voltage measurement, obviously people always use a voltage divider as a sensor sensing element for the voltage measurement. So this particular block having a voltage measurement block and current measurement block. On top of it, it has a DSP engine. It will do the power algorithm computation. It will give the better result when you do the cell calibration at the chip level. So this device having different interface also, like SP interface and UART interfaces. So based on the customer requirement, maybe you can use SPI or UART as per your wish. So if you look at how we are, how we are
Yes.
achieving this self-calibration feature in the device. There'll be a voltage driver. It will be pass known voltage to the voltage sections, and that ADC will be read by the ADC, and it will compare known voltage and ADC value. If difference is there, the MSure detector will detect the difference and nullify the error. Same way, the current driver also feed the known current to the shunt, and it will be measured by the ADC, and the MSure detector will compute difference between the input signal and as well as measured value. If any difference between these two, it will nullify and give the error-free current value. So once we have done voltage calibration and current calibration, there is no need of separate power calibration or energy calibration. So this is one of the advantages of this MSure. If you go to the MC-based approach, you have to do power calibration also separately and energy calibration also separately. This is of additional work when you are involving microcontroller based approach. And moreover, the metrology engines well accurate one. So it has sophisticated DSP inside. So it will give all the values: voltage, current, power, and energy information. On top of that, it will give additional feature like zero crossing, voltage dip, and swell information also will be provided by this chip. So in short, it will give better reliability, and we can able to achieve minimum error is lesser than 1% based on how much we are doing the calibration. We can achieve less than 1% also. So as you said, as I said, that will be a current measurement how based on MSure and without MSure. So in traditional method, there will be a voltage current path will be there, that will be filtered out and gained, and it go to the ADC. After that, mathematical calculation performed in the microcontroller, and value get read actually. Once it's done, we don't have any option in the field after 1 year or 2 years whether the device is performing as per the error limit or not. There is no option right now. If you want to do that, you have to remove that product and get to the production unit, and you have to do this exercise. This is really a costly exercise when you are do this non-MSure product. If you go to the MSure product, there will be a current source is available. It will pass to the shunt, and will filter out the signal, and will gain the signal, and will do the ADC measurement, and will compute the exact value. And this particular activity we can do anytime and anywhere, and throughout the lifetime of the product, the accuracy will be guaranteed minimum 1%. But whereas we don't have any option in the microcontroller approach. That's what one of the drawback when come to the non-MC MC-based solution. Similar way, we have voltage measurement also. This also a inbuilt voltage source. It will feed to the voltage reverse section, and it will be measured by the ADC, and the detector detect given input and measure input. If difference is the value get nullified. Whereas in non-MSure application, there is no option at all. Feedback mechanism is not there. So once this product gets calibrated out at the field level, we don't have any option at all. How this MSure performance get guaranteed? There will be two important parameters involved here to MSure get real value. One is absolute accuracy. This is nothing but how best we can get how best accuracy get from the MSure. So minimum guarantee is 1%, but we can able to achieve even less than 0.2 also. This is depends on the how long we are doing the calibration in the internal the chip. If you are allowing more time the device to settle the transfer function, we can able to get maximum accuracy. If you are not allowed to do that, maybe we will get less than 1%, but it's not be more accurate like 0.2 and less than 0.2. For example, if you are using 140 micro ohm shunt, if you allow the system for 52 seconds, we'll be able to achieve 0.353 error. If you do that exercise for 180 seconds, you will get a 0.25% error. So how much time you are allowing the system to do this job, no, you will get better accuracy. Or same way, if you increase the shunt value, definitely in shorter duration, we'll get 0.353, that is 8 seconds, we'll get 0.353 accuracy. For 14 seconds, we'll get 0.25 accuracy. So the value of the shunt as well as the time durations will determine the ensure performance of the accuracy. And same way voltage channel, even 10 seconds we'll get it 0.35 accuracy. For 40 seconds we'll get 0.25 accuracy. So how much value are going to use in the shunt path, that is one of the key factor. And how much duration you allowing to device to settle the transfer function. This is a key important parameter when you want to get a better accuracy from the ensure device. Some of the reference designs we have from Allied devices, we are giving technical manual is already available in the website, and we are also giving Arduino based evaluation board. It has Arduino code we are giving as free of cost. So people really want quick design start. They can use Arduino boards and Arduino software. They can easily understand the performance of the device. Later on, they can migrate as per the their requirement. But initial quick startup, we are giving Arduino console. This is because this is readily available in the market. Anybody can do it very faster way. So these are things available. On top of that, there will be a lot of application notes also available, and we are also giving a lot of recommendation on the layout and how to do the designs and with respect to the measurement application. And the same way, this particular product can be used for many other applications also apart from the street light. You can use this for the EV charger application. You can use for the IoT applications, or even used for the motor predictive maintenance application. So there will be many applications you can use by using this device. And there'll be a engineering zone available. If people having any technical queries or no doubts, they can address their queries addressed by the engineering zone. On top of this, we have local contact only from Allied devices in India. And my Excel point sir, we have Pradeepa and Govindarajan and Mayank is available to clarify technical queries or any other support needed. We can help you on this. Apart from the Allied devices solution, we have our own Excel point reference design or reference product also. That is nothing but we are done product based on the MSure 189153. We are using Cortex M3 controller here. So this is a product already done and completed. We have ready-made schematic, bill of material, and Gerber file, even source codes are available. And this platform available in the two different model. One is Bluetooth approach, other one is NB-IoT. And this can be available in the Arduino platform also. And we are giving cloud support also. If people are interested, they don't want to develop the product, they can approach us, get the ready-made product. Otherwise, if they want a technology transfer also, we will be able to give that option. So this is a typical product which is developed by the Excel Point. So this particular product having two blocks, one is a power supply block, other one is measurement block. That is nothing but MSure with microcontroller along with BLE or NB-IoT. We are giving Arduino 100-based solution also. If people are interested in solution, we are ready to support on this. If not interested, we are ready to support as the IC level technical support. So this is in a product implemented in the field condition. So thanks for your time. Is there any questions? I'm ready to take now. Hello?
Lopa, are you there?
Yes, I think there is a problem. Ma'am, can you share the view?
Hello, am I audible? Yes, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some problem at my end. So the thing is, we'll have all the questions. If we have any questions from the participants, we will forward it to you. And we have recorded this session, which we are going to put it on this online platforms and spread it across, share it with all the participants. Meanwhile, Smaran, are we good to go, or is there anything else in the agenda?
No, that is okay. We can get back to the speakers with all the questionnaires and everything once we publish it in the social media.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for today's session. It was really insight into the problem statements. Thank you all. Thank you, Mr. Karanjan, and thank you, Mr. Govinda. Thank you, Sunil, for ADI's active participation in Scout program. We look forward to more such constructive sessions.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Look forward to support you. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much.